against Newcastle was football suicide, writes Danny Murphy, but hey race how the Man United boss can tweak it to stop the rot. Most matches are won or lost in midfield. Managers have drilled that into players and it's still the case today. Few teams ask 2 players to go up against 3 when they aren't equipped for the job and don't get any help, so I found it bizarre Ruben Amorim did it against a side as athletic as Newcastle on Monday night. I was at Old Trafford and could see the problem within a few minutes. By the time the Manchester United boss reacted, his team were 2-0 down and it was game over. It was football suicide, and unless Amorim changes either his system or the personnel, performances and results aren't going to change. Particularly worrying as United are down in 14th. We know Amorim's 3-4-3 worked extremely well for him at Sporting Lisbon, but the Premier League is a ruthless place. Only one team has won the title here playing that way, and Antonio Conte Chelsea were blessed in having outstanding holding midfielders Nemanja Matic and N'Golo Kante, who did the running of 2 players, and Eden Hazard, who made sure opponents were often more worried about him than going on the front foot themselves. United have none of those assets. Ruben Amorim has come in for criticism for his setup in Manchester United's 2-0 defeat by Newcastle. They are easy to play against and easy to beat. To play a formation where you're outnumbered in midfield, and then give the extra running to 30-somethings Casemiro and Christian Eriksen, was a contradiction. Even though things improved in the second half with the younger Kobbie Mainoo, it was largely because Newcastle were comfortably ahead and took their foot off the gas. I've been impressed by Amorim since he arrived at Old Trafford, but this was a first significant black mark. He must have known Newcastle are flying at the moment, and his most energetic midfielder Manuel Ugarte was suspended. But the outcome still took him by surprise. United fans will be wondering what he does next. Long term, if he wants to stick with 3-4-3, he is going to need a lot of new players. The problem isn't just the midfielders. There is a lack of legs in United's backline too. Harry Maguire and Matthijs de Ligt were reluctant to step into midfield for fear of being exposed against Alexander Isak. At the other end, Newcastle were prepared to press and push forward, confident that Fabian Schär could cope one-on-one with Rasmus Højlund. If United had a back 3 of Virgil van Dijk, William Saliba and Mickey van de Ven, they could be far more aggressive. Given he's got the group he's inherited for now, Amorim has to make some tweaks. It may not fit in with the United philosophy of open attacking football at the Theatre of Dreams, but this is not a time to worry about that. They need results. If he's determined to play with wingbacks even during these difficult times, he should at least add an extra midfielder to become 3-5-2. It would mean the distances between his midfield players would be closer. At the moment, every team is overrunning United, not just Newcastle, but Bournemouth and Wolves also in recent games. United have also suffered home defeats to the likes of Bournemouth Pictured and Nottingham Forest in recent weeks. He could also make the pitch smaller by deliberately allowing opponents to have possession. Become more compact so that his defensive unit is closer together. They do have counter-attacking threats like Amad Diallo and Alejandro Garnacho who could benefit from that. It served Nottingham Forest well this season, including in their win at Anfield. United are in a mess. Their forwards lack the brilliance of Mohamed Salah or Isak. The midfielders don't have the running power of Ryan Gravenberch or Rodri. Amorim has to try something. Whether it's giving young Toby Collier a chance because he can get about the park, or even putting Lisandro Martinez into midfield to allow Lenny Yoro a run of games. One thing looks certain. Sticking to the current formula will lead to more failure. New woe for Marcus Rashford as his investment firm is set to be struck off, while Man United desperately try to sell him this month. The Manchester United forward has endured a difficult few months on the pitch, losing his place in the squad before sitting down for a bombshell interview in which he claimed he was ready for a new challenge away from his boyhood club. The Red Devils are keen to offload the 27-year-old, who is one of the club's highest earners, this month, and links have been made to the likes of PSG, Juventus and Saudi Pro League clubs. Off the pitch, Rashford has built an impressive business portfolio which rakes in millions every year. In 2023, it was reported that Rashford's companies earned in excess of €17 million in the previous financial year. At that point the income exceeded the weekly wage he received from the Red Devils. But it appears that at least one of his firms could be set to dissolve after being given a striking off notice by Companies House. Mux Investments Limited will be struck off the register and dissolved not less than 2 months from December 31, 2024. Marcus Rashford's investment firm is set to be struck off the Companies House register. According to The Sun, Rashford held talks with leading sports agency Stellar. The same agency helped land Gareth Bale's stunning €86 million Rashford, whose United contract runs until the summer of 2028, has made 426 appearances for the club and has scored 138 goals. United are currently languishing in 14th place in the Premier League and are eager for an upturn in form. Move from Tottenham to Real Madrid back in 2001, in the hope of landing a move away from Old Trafford this month. However, Rashford took to social media to deny the reports. In an Instagram post, he said been a lot of false stories over the past few weeks, but guys, this is getting ridiculous, never met with any agency and don't have any plans to. Rashford's last appearance for United was on December 12 when he played 56 minutes against Victoria Plzen in the Europa League. The United star is currently represented by brother Dwayne Manutd. Rashford, whose United contract runs until the summer of 2028, has made 426 appearances for the club and has scored 138 goals. United are currently languishing in 14th place in the Premier League and are eager for an upturn in form. Casemiro attracts fresh interest from Saudi Arabian clubs, with Brazilian one of 3 high earners. Man United are open to selling this month. Manchester United midfielder Casemiro is attracting fresh interest from Saudi Arabian clubs Al Nassr and Al Qadsiya. Al Ittihad were keen on the 32-year-old last summer. However, most Saudi clubs have their full quota of foreign players now and need to sell this month before they can bring in new recruits. United would sell the Brazilian, who is one of the club's highest earners. Casemiro, who joined from Real Madrid in 2022 for €60 million, earns his contract expires at the end of next season. After an outstanding debut campaign with the Red Devils, he has struggled to replicate the form that saw him win 5 Champions League titles at Madrid. He has frequently found himself on the bench since Ruben Amorim's arrival and is reportedly considering a move away. Casemiro is attracting interest from Saudi Arabian clubs and Manchester United are open to selling him. He has found himself more frequently left on the bench since Ruben Amorim's arrival. United also hope to offload Christian Eriksen and Victor Lindelof among others. Asked if Casemiro and Eriksen can start together in midfield after the 2-0 defeat by Newcastle on Monday night, Gary Neville was emphatic in his response. No. They may have to if there's lots of injuries. We've all been there as football where you get into your 30s and the last thing you want next to you is another playing alongside you in your 30s, he told Sky Sports. The last thing that Eriksen sees alongside him is someone who's got a lack of energy. He wants to see someone who can compensate for the things he doesn't have and vice versa with Casemiro. There are players at other clubs at the very top who haven't got legs, but they've got people around them who can cover for the fact they haven't got legs. They can't play them as a 2 in midfield with those massive gaps that exist.